Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. My parents had me at 27 and 29. I was their only child for 14 years, and in all the years I was living with them, they never believed in nice things or treating me for any reason. They had the money. My mom was often buying more makeup and shoes, and my dad was into golf, so their money went to their hobbies and I had basics for everything. Anything I wanted, I was told no. Christmas and birthdays were for practical gifts. School supplies they bought without me because it was basically plain everything, and they didn't want me complaining about wanting a character backpack or a pink pencil or something. I always remember it was really hot one summer and I was 8 years old maybe. An ice cream truck stopped in our neighborhood and all the kids were getting ice cream, so I approached my parents who were talking to some neighbors and asked if I could have money for one too. They said no, because ice cream was not an essential, and I could go inside and get some water if I wanted to cool down. A neighbor offered to pay for my ice cream and my parents put a stop to that as well. I went inside for the rest of the day anyway because I was upset and jealous watching all the other kids eat their ice creams and knowing my parents wouldn't even let someone else buy one for me. They started to change after I moved out of home. I noticed when an invite came for my little sister's 5th birthday party, and it was a huge surprise because I never got a birthday party. In the 3 years since, they have thrown birthday parties, gone all out for Christmas. They took them on vacation, which I never went on, but my parents did. Then several months ago, my parents realized I was doing well for myself with my art. They asked me to buy my siblings these big gifts for Christmas, and I said no. My parents said they could only get so much, and I shrugged. These were easily $300 to $400 gifts each that my parents wanted me to buy, and of course I was to give the gifts to my parents to give to my siblings. A few days ago, my parents asked me for money for stuff for my siblings, and I said no. They said I was being very tight-fisted with my money and to think of how much it would mean to my siblings. This is when I told them they don't get money off me to spoil my siblings the way they refuse to spoil me. My parents said I was being petty and that I was punishing the wrong people. Am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. Your parents denied an 8-year-old girl an ice cream and now expect her to provide expensive gifts for them to give to their own kids? Personally, I would go low contact or no contact with them unless you enjoy time spent with your younger siblings. Not the bonehead. Tell your parents that you learn from them to only pay for essentials. This lesson was learned very well. You will not give them anything that is absolutely not required. What is required from you? Nothing. Hold up. So when you were a kid, your parents went on trips without you? They left you behind? Christ alive, your parents suck. It appears they might have realized they messed up with you, but they don't get a redo on your dime. OP replied, they went on vacation once or twice a year and never brought me. Not the bonehead. If they suddenly now can decide to be proper parents after you've gone and flown the coop, they can foot the bill with all the money they didn't spend on you. I'd go no contact after that. Your money belongs to you and it's your decision how to use said money. Congrats on your art taking off. I, 26 male, have a very beautiful but very considerate girlfriend, 28 female. We have an awesome relationship between us, and we're living together. The one and only problem is that her sister and her boyfriend are complete inconsiderate fools. They also have one kid. Whenever we used to go out for any activity, movies, lunch, etc., I always ended up paying for it because I'm making more money, but they never even tried to return it. So after 2 or 3 times, I just stopped going and started making excuses. Recently, my girlfriend and I went on an 8-day trip, and to my misfortune, her sister and boyfriend were going to move into a different place the same days as our vacation. The landlord of the new place told them that the new place had some plumbing and electrical issues, so it would take 2 to 3 days to fix. So her sister asked my girlfriend to let her stay at our place. I was not on board with this, and I even warned her this was not a good idea. But it's my girlfriend's apartment too. She assured me nothing would happen, and I reluctantly agreed. So after 8 days of blissful vacation, we came back to our apartment, and guess what? It's totally trashed. The walls were scribbled on with pen, the toilet was smelly as hell, the kitchen was disgusting with food wrappers everywhere. They trashed the apartment in 2 days. Least to say, I was beyond pissed. I put my bags in my closet and told my girlfriend she needed to clean this crap up by herself and left. After I was at the bar, I got a text from my girlfriend's bestie saying that I was rude to my girlfriend and to go back and help her. I just told her to mind her business. She said I'm acting like a jerk. So am I the jerk in this situation? Edit. Whoa, so many responses. I just wanted to update on the situation. I went back to our apartment after 2 hours and my girlfriend was in the middle of having a very serious talk with her sister, boyfriend, and also their parents were involved too. I think her mother was really angry at her sister and said pretty harsh stuff like get her crap together or they would cut any contact with her and etc. Our apartment was half cleaned, so I started cleaning with her and apologized for my outburst, but not for my initial stand. I still think it was her partial responsibility. She also apologized to me on behalf of her sister and boyfriend. We will have one last talk about our boundaries and I think we'll overcome this issue with no problem. Now for some comments. She has to take responsibility. The other option is for her to ring her sister and her boyfriend instead of her friend. They did this, not you. Not the bonehead. The sister and her boyfriend are totally taking advantage of you, and this is because your girlfriend lets them, even encourages them. Not the bonehead. You said you weren't okay with her sister staying at the house. This was her circus. She gets to clean up after the monkeys. Of course her crappy sister and boyfriend should be the ones cleaning up, but I don't see that happening. Not the bonehead. You weren't on board with the sister staying at your place. Your girlfriend said it would be fine and let her sister stay anyway. It's the girlfriend's responsibility to clean up the mess her guests made, and if she isn't happy doing that alone, her sister, the boyfriend, and her best friend can get off their butts and help. I, 28 female, have been with my girlfriend, 28 female, for over 6 years now, and due to her mental health, we haven't had a chance to go on a date in a very long time. I've invited her out multiple times, but she always refuses, which again, I fully understand why. We finally planned to go to my favorite park and have dinner afterwards, which she offered to pay for, and I was so excited to finally spend quality time with her. We live together and spend time together indoors, but it isn't the same as going out on a date, so I was really looking forward to it. She decided to visit her sister and nieces yesterday and stay the night, which I thought was lovely. They haven't seen each other in a while, so it's not a problem. So this morning, I get ready to have a shower as we plan to meet for lunch at the park. She checks in with me to make sure that everything is still good and then messages me to tell me that she invited her nieces and sister along as they would love to go to the park. I'm a little confused as I thought this was a date, which I mentioned, and she said that spending time with the girls would make the date even better for her. Now, I don't have an issue with going to the park with them. Honestly, if this was just a random park trip, I would have said bring them along anyway, as that would have been nice, but this was supposed to be a date. So I explained to her that I wanted to spend quality time with her today and I wish she asked me first before inviting anyone along. She got upset and started saying that the girls will always come first and that she hasn't spent any quality time with them at all this week, but has done so with me. In my eyes, a date is very different to spending time alone at home. We had a little argument, but I made it clear to her that my issue isn't the fact that we're going to spend time with the girls that day. I love spending time with them and her sister, but that this was supposed to be a date. I said we could have just rescheduled the date and had a park outing with them today instead, but she was telling me that I'm selfish and that she can't believe how I can be such a terrible person. She then said this word for word, if we had planned a candlelight dinner by the beach or something and they want to go, they can. If you want to date me, you should get used to them crashing our dates. I have not yet replied to her message. I feel as though it's important that it's just me and her, otherwise it isn't a date, and at the moment, I don't feel special to her or valued as a partner, and I should now go into every date with the expectation that she'll bring someone along with her. She has now canceled as she showed her sister our messages and they said they don't want to go out for now because of this mess. I spoke with my sister and she agrees with me that a date is between the couple, not the family. So Reddit, am I the bonehead when I said I wanted to spend our date with just her and not anyone else? Edit. Thank you all for the support. I've posted a quick update in the comments. Nothing big, just addressing a few questions. Update. Hey everyone, so super quick update. I decided to go for a walk by myself to the park and I enjoyed it. Of course, I would have preferred to be there in different circumstances, but I didn't want to just stay home and wallow in self-pity. I got back home just under an hour ago and spent this time thinking about what to do, and after reading all of your messages, I just wanted to thank you all for the support. I'm glad to know I wasn't just making a big deal out of nothing as I was starting to believe. I, of course, don't want to be a low priority in my relationship and will speak to her about it when she gets home. I still haven't responded to her message as I would prefer to speak in person, which I'll do when she gets home from her sister's house. A few notes to answer some questions. No, she doesn't work due to the intense therapy she receives. I won't go into detail about her issues as it's not my place to say. As mentioned above, she is currently going through DBT therapy, which has been helping a lot, hence why we were able to finally schedule a time for the date today. I do support her financially, but she has also helped me out many times as she does receive her own form of income. She even offered to pay for the dinner today, so it definitely is not just one way. So I highly doubt she is just with me for money. No, she does not have kids of her own, only her 2 nieces, female 3 and female 5. I'll make a full update again once I've spoken to her properly. In the meantime, I'll do something for myself and do some gardening. Once again, thank you for all the support. Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. I think it's time for you to move on. 6 years is a lot of time to have wasted on someone who doesn't see you as a priority. Not the bonehead. This is very concerning. Her saying that no matter how romantic or private a date is, these children will be welcome to crash is really disrespectful to you and your relationship. This is not normal. She's not even saying if there was something urgent that would take priority. Of course, if she needed to cancel a date because the kids needed her, then that's one thing. But saying that in any situation she'd rather spend time with these children than you makes me think she doesn't really value you as a romantic partner. There should be enough time for her to spend some outings with her sister and their kids, but also to prioritize you and your relationship sometimes too. By refusing to do that, it feels like she's saying your relationship is unimportant to her. Obviously, this is a small snapshot of your relationship, but it's definitely something that needs further thinking about and discussion. Dump her. There are 4 billion women in the world, and 3.999 billion would never do this. Seriously, she's not compatible with you, and this sounds like a deal breaker. I, 29 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 28 female, for 5 years. We've had discussions about our future goals, including settling down, having children, and other similar aspects. Initially, we were both on the same page. I believe she was the one for me. However, lately I've been feeling a sense of boredom and monotony in our relationship. Our intimate life is great, she's a wonderful cook, and she's objectively attractive. There isn't anything inherently wrong in our relationship, but the thought of being stuck in a repetitive routine is becoming overwhelming for me. Additionally, 3 of her close friends are either engaged or married, and she keeps pressuring me about when we'll take that step. I had been contemplating ending the relationship because I found it increasingly difficult to pretend that everything was fine. However, last week she told me that she had taken 3 different pregnancy tests, all of which came back positive. To say that I was mortified would be an understatement. Despite my best efforts to conceal my reaction, she could tell that something was off. She asked me how I felt about the situation, and I must admit that my choice of words could have been better. I asked her if abortion was an option, which caught her off guard. The following 2 minutes were filled with an uncomfortable silence. After that, she got up and left the apartment. Since then, she hasn't spoken with me at all, and I assume she's considering breaking up with me. Meanwhile, her friends and family have been calling me names, but I have chosen to ignore them as their opinions had no significance to me since they aren't directly involved in this situation. Despite me feeling free and so much better now that we aren't together anymore, I still can't help but think I might have been the bonehead. Now for some comments. You think you're free? Wait for the court summons. I suspect that once the reality of 18 years of child support payments kicks in, that happy snappy feeling will fade. I think it's pretty clear you're the bonehead. That feeling of liberation you have is only temporary because you're not thinking about the future. Let me tell you what your future is going to be like. You have a child with this person. You will end up paying child support for 18 years and have to work out co-parenting in court. Any future partner you have will need to be notified that you're a single dad who is co-parenting. This will lead to questions about why you and your ex broke up. If you have the sincerity to tell them the truth, then expect most people to be disgusted by your actions. If you lie to them, then expect to keep up this lie for years. All of this could have been avoided if you would have talked to your girlfriend. You could have seen an expert or broke up amicably. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like these stories, please consider subscribing. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.